Okay, so today we're going to review two things. The first thing is we are going to review how to recognize if the different equations equal the original equation, and then we're going to go the backwards way where we're going to take this equation and we're going to write it a couple of different ways. So the first way that I want to check is I want to know, is this way, so 4 times 7,000 plus 100 plus 30 plus 5 the same as this? So what we have to ask ourselves when we are multiplying, did we expand this correctly? Do we have 7,000? Check. Do we have 100? Check. Do we have 30? Check. Do we have 5? Check. And my parentheses right here, let me get my highlighter, is around all of that. So that means it's 4 times 7,000, 4 times 100, 4 times 30, and 4 times 5. And so yes, it is the same. So we're going to say yes, that one is the same. Okay, so now let's look at our next one. Let me get a different color. What about 4 times 7,000 plus 4 times 100 plus 4 times 30 plus 4 times 5. Okay, so let's check. Let's see, did we expand it correctly? We've got 7,000, we've got 100, 30, and 5. Yes, we expanded it correctly. Do we have times 4 for each of them? Yes, we did. Did we add all the parts together? Yes, we did. So this is another way to write this. So this one is actually where, you see how our arrows go here? We're saying 4 times 7,000. That's 4 times 7,000. Our next arrow goes 4 times 100, 4 times 100. Arrow goes 4 times 30, 4 times 30. And then we got 4 times 5, 4 times 5. Okay, so those are our two distributive ways. Now the next one is we're going to go back to our basic thinking of multiplication. We are talking about 4 groups of 7,135. So we've got 7,135, that is one group. We got 7,135, that's 2 groups. We've got 7,135, that's 3 groups. And 7,135, that's 4 groups. So using those groups, we can make another multiplication problem. We can say 7,135 times 2 plus 7,135 times 2. So we're saying 2 groups of this plus 2 groups of this is the same as 4 groups. So that's another way to write this. And this is using multiplication and addition. And then of course so that is a way. And then our very last way is remembering that it is repeated addition. So how many groups do we have? We have 4 groups. So you could also write 7,135 plus 7,135 plus 7,135 plus 7,135. So that is another way that we can write this. So We have to choose the ways that are easiest for us. And with this one, we would of course use our area model. So that is another way we can write it. But you need to be able to recognize each of these different ways that are the same equation as this. You're going to get the same answer. So one of the test questions is you're going to have this problem and they're going to ask you for another way to write it. So you don't have to write all the different ways. You just have to remember one of them to be able to say, yes, this is it, or no, this is not it. Okay. And then the other way that you're going to get it is you're going to get the problem. Let me write a different color. 6,242 times 8, and they're going to give you problems. So for example, let's look at this one. Okay, so the first thing you have to check is, did they expand it? So let's check, did they expand it correctly? 6,000, check. 200, check. 40, check. 2, check. So they expanded it correctly. The next thing that we have to check is, did they multiply by 8? Multiplied by 8, multiplied by 8, multiplied by 8, multiplied by 8. Now the next thing is what we know about expanded is we have to add all those together. So we have to check, did they add them all together? And what do we notice here? What did they do? They multiplied. They did not plus it, or they did not add it. So is this correct? Nope, because everything is correct except they forgot that this needs to be added together. That one needs to be added together. So this is a no, that does not equal the same thing. Okay, so then let's look at our next one. So 6,242 times 4 plus 242 times 8. Okay, so knowing this is looking for groups. How many groups total do I need? I need 8 groups total. So this side I have 1, 2, 3, 4. On this side I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, right away, is that 8 groups or is that more than 8 groups? That's more than 8 groups, so this does not work. So now let's look at another one. Oh, I lost my pen. We've got 6,242 times 4 plus 6,242 times 4. Now let's check our groups. We have 4 groups, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 groups, 1, 2, 3, 4. So together, we add them, they have 8 groups. And how many are we supposed to have? 8. So this would be a yes, that is the same. When you see it when it's not expanded, you're looking for groups. When you see it broken out as expanded, you need to check and make sure they've got all the parts right. Did they expand it correctly? Did they multiply it correctly? Do they have the plus signs in the correct spots? And then this one is groups. So this one is more focused on groups. So we're going to have some slides today that are going to be focusing on both of these ways. And this is not the first time we've seen this, but it's been a while since we've had to expand and kind of compare if they all equal. And we have to be able to tell why. Like this one, this reason would be they multiplied instead of add. This is why that is not true. This one is they have too many groups. And this one is correct, is they have the right amount of groups. And that's why that one is correct. So this is why it's wrong, and this is why it's correct. Okay, so we'll be practicing that today during math.